The Signalgate saga is getting worse for the Trump administration as new revelations suggest Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth really did text classified information. The Washington Post reports that the Pentagon's independent watchdog has evidence that messages from Hegseth's Signal chat previewing a U.S. bombing campaign in Yemen were derived from an email classified as secret. According to the Washington Post, the strike plans had been shared in a classified email by the top commander overseeing U.S. military operations in the Middle East with more than a dozen defense officials, and then were reposted in the unclassified group chats by an account affiliated with Hegseth on March 15th. This is a complete contradiction to the Trump administration's long-standing claim that no classified information was shared on the defense secretary's account.
The conversation was candid and sensitive, but as the President National Security Advisor stated, no classified information was shared.
We have said all along no war plans were discussed, no classified material was sent.
There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information.
John Brennan is back with us. I'm going to play a little bit more sound. This is coming from Scott Jennings at CNN on Newsnight with Abby Phillip on Wednesday. And this is him offering a potential excuse for what the secretary did. Watch this.
This is just some speculation based on what, the scuttlebutt is. There is some viewpoint that the Secretary of Defense, because he has declassification authorization, when he puts information into a whatever, he can declassify it at that moment, and we'll see if that argument becomes viable.
That is an absolutely wild argument to make about an ongoing.
That's an argument he won't make.
He will not be making that argument about an ongoing military operation.
Why? If he removed key details and he believes he has the authority to declassify information, they might make. I don't know what they're going to do.
Former CIA Director John Brennan, please explain why that is ridiculous.
Yeah, because facts are troublesome things for this administration. The Signal app is not approved for classified information, plain and simple. And so it was an unauthorized use of that app. But I think more fundamentally, it was something that could have put our military operation and our servicemen and women in danger. Iran is the principal patron of the Houthis in Yemen. Iran has tremendous capabilities to intercept intelligence and communications. And so therefore, if in fact the Iranians had intercepted that in advance of the operation, they could have forewarned the Houthis that have the capability to launch strikes against, incoming aircraft. And so therefore, again, does what Hegseth did, was it appropriate use of a platform that, again, is not authorized for classified information? It also violates the Federal Records Act, which is that federal employees are supposed to be communicating on approved systems so that there's going to be a record of it. And the Signal app, the messages disappear within days or whatever it is that you time it to. And so therefore, again, I think what this administration, Pete Hegseth, is now having to deal with is the fact that it's coming out that this was a copy and paste from a classified system of classified information into the Signal app. There's no excuse for it.
Director Brennan, there are different types of classified information. And since we have you here, I'd like you to explain to people, we have the 3 levels of classified information: confidential, secret, and top secret. And that includes sensitive, compartmented information, which is, I guess, high as it gets. Explain why you would not want a secret, which is that second level. What are the kinds of things that are usually deemed secret?
Oh, well, you have, intelligence reports that have come in from overseas, from our overseas, assets and agents that come in, and we distribute them in the U.S. government under that secret moniker, because we want to make sure that only the people who have the appropriate access and clearances and background security clearances are going to be able to read it. And so secret is the overwhelming bulk, I think, of the classified intelligence that circulates within the U.S. government. And so a lot of military operations, a lot of military activities are included in that secret realm. And that's why, again, a military operation that was about to take place that hadn't taken place, there is a reason to try to keep it compartmented, to keep it out of the limelight and the public view.
Real quickly, because to Scott Jennings' point about, he says that the Secretary of Defense has the power to declassify information on his own. Is that even true?
Well, yes, senior officials do have authority to declassify information. What you're supposed to do, though, is do it before something happens as opposed to after the fact. You know, it looks as though they're trying to clean up a mess here by saying, well, Hegseth had declassified information. But clearly they have said publicly that there was no classified information in there. So the story is changing quite a bit in order to, I think, again, support their defenses that are pretty weak.
And Hegseth still has a job. Surprise, surprise.